Pasta night. I will start from the beginning. Pasta night was an idea actually developed by Kathleen a couple weeks ago now. We were in the city and we were out to eat and went to a place and they had a homemade pasta. And I had mentioned that Nick makes homemade pasta. She was like, he should make pasta for us. So I texted him immediately. Kathleen wants you to make us pasta. Nick said 3 texts. When? Literally tell me when. I demand to know. I am free whenever that is. And then I said, what are you doing Monday? He said, loving you tenderly, I mean chilling. That's something that happened. And then I said, are you making pasta? And he said, hyperventilates in English, let me ask. And then he sent me a screenshot that he sent to Maureen. Do you see these texts? Maureen, can we not go home this weekend? James wants me to make him and Kathleen pasta on Monday. I feel like this is my big break because Kathleen is famous. We can finally do all the things I promised you, all the things you signed up for. When we started this, I said one day I'm gonna be somebody. I feel like this is that day. This is my time. I've never been more ready. I'm ready to prove my worth to you through pasta. That's what Nick sent to Maureen. And then he said, she said yes. Turns out Nick had to cancel on us, which was super disappointing. We were really looking forward to it. No, I'm just kidding. We actually canceled on Nick. So we ended up rescheduling for yesterday. Leading up to pasta night, as you guys already know from my past streams, there was a lot of discussion on the cuisine. It continued right up until a couple hours before we even went over there. Obviously, you guys know eggplant off the table, olives off the table, butternut squash, zucchini, peppers were off the table, mushrooms, clams, caviar, salmon, lemon, anything spicy off the table. Which, I mean, in my opinion, leaves Nick with a lot of choices, right? Last text I got from Nick, spinach. We're good with spinach. We like spinach. He said, does she like cheese? I was like, yes. I guess we'll start when I was on the way over to Nick and Maureen's lovely apartment. We stopped to get wine, Kathleen and I. We went to a super sketchy bar/liquor store. Is this a thing? You walked in, on the left side was a bar, and on the right side was like a liquor store. We're looking at the wine. I wasn't sure which wine to get because I'm not a big wine drinker, which was also off the table at first. And there's this guy over here, and I'm standing next to Kathleen. I hear him say, hey, nice hair. I like your hair. And I was like, this guy's like talking to Kathleen. We would both just ignored him. And we eventually pick up a thing of wine. We go over to the counter to check out. The guy again goes, hey, kid. Hey, kid. And then he apparently said Prince Charming, which I didn't hear the first time. Kathleen said she heard Prince Charming. I wasn't sure if I heard Prince Charming, but he was talking to me and he said he liked my hair, which was a great compliment, but I turned around and he was bald, so I couldn't be like, hey, you too. So I felt super weird and I was like, oh, hey, like, thanks. Picked up a bottle of wine. We arrive at Nick and Maureen's apartment complex. Now, beforehand, I had a genius idea, okay? I said, I'm gonna bring an empty pizza box and walk in with it, and they're gonna think that I brought pizza to their pasta night party, which is classic comedy. Both to their surprise, I had a pizza box in my hand. I think Maureen was the first one who was like, what? We entered to a island, like a kitchen island, that was absolutely full of appetizers. Charcuterie board, dip with vegetables, sliced bread, and oil. So immediately I was like, wow, this is so much food. Ritz crackers, there was the pretzel things. We had other crackers that I didn't even touch. There was fruit that I looked at, but that's not the only thing. We were also greeted with some very classic Italian music, setting the mood for what was going to be the rest of the evening. I asked Nick, I said, what's on the menu? What'd we decide? And he said, we're going to make a tortellini. Notice I said, we are going to make a tortellini. We got our beverages. There was 3 different types of wine, I believe. There was sparkling water. There was still water. Nick took this very seriously. I had a White Claw. But we started the pasta making. He had a pile of flour on his countertop into a pile, makes a little donut hole in the middle of it, right? Nick calls me up to bat. He goes, Nuzz, you're gonna come up here and you're gonna crack the eggs in this thing. And I was like, I cracked 2 eggs. Not just any eggs, okay? These were eggs from Maureen's parents' chickens. These were fresh eggs from the butt and or other region where the egg comes out of a chicken. He's mixing with a fork. I was able to teach Nick. When the dough is too dry, you can like add water to it to make it more moist. But if it's too moist, you just add more flour to it. So you just have to kind of work with it. Nick very specifically taught me that while we were there, chat, just to clarify. Nick completes the pasta dough and he has to let it sit for a half hour. So he made the filling, the dough set, pasta dough comes out. He's running it through the KitchenAid. There's the dough, cuts it in half. Anything you want to say to the fans?
Come to my restaurant.
We get the tortellinis. He cuts the tortellinis into little circles, just like with a little thing, and then assigns me, Kathleen, and Maureen to fill said tortellinis. He taught us how to do one as a tester, so you can see like the little, the little edges. And after we made all the tortellinis, Nick decides, hey, I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna have some bread. He made the oil. He has a fresh loaf of bread. Takes it, dips it in the oil, takes a bite, oil, boom, directly center of shirt on that nice blue Nike workout shirt. I was like, oh man. I look over at Kathleen. I was like, should we go? Nick goes, gets changed, another shirt, same piece of bread, brings it up, bite, oil right on the shirt, center of the shirt. 2 shirts back to back, the back-to-back oil shirt debacle of 2022. Then after the oil debacle, he decided he's gonna make the sauces. He ended up making 2 different sauces for the tortellinis, a white wine sauce, and then he also made bechamel sauce, which is a cheese-esque sauce with apparently no cheese in it. So he's making the 2 sauces at once, and it was the most chef action I saw in the kitchen. I ended up going to the bathroom. Bathroom was great. All the amenities was there. I used Nick's toothbrush. It was pretty clean. At this point, we were all sitting around the kitchen island, and we now relocated because it was almost dinner time to the table. We had big plates. We had a fancy napkin in like a thing. Like there was a thing on the napkin, like a napkin ring. We ended up splitting both of them. Chat, I will say, they were terrible. They were so, no, I was kidding. They were really, really good. They were really good. I told Nick you could tell that they were homemade. And at this point, dinner was completed. We went over the huge hurdle of pasta night with a success. Nick made the mistake as we were leaving and teased that there was goodie bags. He said, make sure you remember your goodie bag. And then he said, oh, there's no goodie bags. He was joking. Which, I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but after someone mentions a goodie bag and takes it away from you, you don't realize how much you wanted the goodie bag. But I will say, the first official pasta night, 4.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you for having Kathleen and I. We very much enjoyed ourselves. I asked Kathleen to write a Yelp-like review. I just got a 9-paragraph text from Kathleen. I knew the night was off to a great start when an old guy at the liquor store catcalled my boyfriend about his hair and not me. I had no clue what to expect since the last month of interaction that I had with Nick was through James asking me very specific yet oddly not specific at all questions. Squash, eggplant, cheese, zucchini. It was clear that our host put a lot of effort into not only food preparation but ambience. We were welcomed to the soundtrack of 5 different Italian songs on loop. Maureen's charcuterie board was a highlight of the evening for sure. I will admit that I ate the entire side of salami with no shame. Okay, a little shame. Nick's pasta making experience was one of the best cooking shows I've ever seen taped live. It was very informative on the type of flour used, how to add water if the dough was too dry, and to add flour if it was too wet. Yep. Truly, the pasta was delish. You could really taste the difference between store-bought and homemade. All in all, 10 out of 10 would recommend dinner with Chef Tired Gamer.